You should be thinking about the kitchen when you're doing cold email. Let me tell you why. Because when you're in the kitchen, right, you want to get a food. Most of the time, it's a bunch of ingredients combined into one another to make a dish, essentially. But when you're in the kitchen, you can cook, chop the board here, get the frozen goods, And you should be thinking like that when you're writing down the cold emails. There's moving parts when you're trying to cook, right? If I were to create a dish, I have to cut the onions, I have to defrost the frozen goods, and then essentially saute them, cook them in the pan, mix them with mix the onions, mix the beef, etc., mix the sauce, and creating the whole entire dish. That's like with cold email. So, thing about it is there's a lot of moving parts as well on cold email that you don't realize. And because what you essentially do is sending an email to one another, right? To another person. But what makes it complicated when you're doing it at a larger volume, you get this bit of complications. Just like when you saute a pan, you can't leave it for 10 minutes there. You have to essentially time it, make sure that you're properly mixing it up, on a timely manner, and then for it to be perfectly cooked. With cold email as well, when you're sending cold email, you can't just ram up the volume hundreds of emails per day on a single inbox. You're gonna be landing in the spam and eventually get blocked if you do that. So what you essentially do is you make a preventive layers of measures. You set up your DNS records. You warm up your emails. You send plain text. You don't send links. You don't send images. You don't track open rates, things like that. Keep it very simple. And that's most importantly, you're in the safe sending volume range. I'm talking about anywhere from 5 to 15 ranges there. You're being safe with your email. Same thing. You're trying to time it. You're making sure that once it's done, you segregate it. Once my email has sent 5, I won't use it again. Let me use it tomorrow. Keep it repeating, right? And there's moving parts. Because before you even send the email, okay, who are you sending it to? How do you build the leads list? How do you make it relevant to them? How do I make sure that what I'm offering resonates with you? If I'm cooking to an Indian person, I would think of something like kebab or chicken biryani. But if you're cooking for like a Southeast Asian, maybe cook some Chinese food, American food, right? Who are you targeting and how can you resonate with them? Same thing with cold email. If you were to build out a list, it has to be resonating with what you offer. If I were to target small business owners, then I would aim for like CEOs, companies, presidents, right? But if you're targeting mid-size, and then there's certain department that you are intending to help. Me, for example, I want to get you leads. Who in the mid-size companies would be interested in getting the leads? VP of marketing, marketing director, VP of sales, director of sales, right? So you intentionally build out the email list to who you're targeting. You know who you want to reach out to. Therefore, you can now strategically get them into a single list. Here's the list of people, and that's what I'm going to be serving you. Just like with the kitchen. When you have these ingredients, I know that I'll be cooking for an Indian guy. Okay, let me cook some chicken biryani. I know that I'll be cooking for like an American who needs fries, maybe burgers, right? And because you know who you're cooking for. It's like cold email. It's very simple. But here's the last part. Well, okay. How do you get them? How do you get them now to when you serve it eventually? How do you make sure that they're the right fit for this? Do they like it? Okay. When they are eating it, right? Did they like the spices? Are they allergic to something? Just like with the sales call. When you get them now on a sales call, okay. Do Do they have a need for my services or product? And do they have the right budget for it? And do they have an actual need? Right? Like, not an actual, let me repeat it. Do they have an actual need? Like, are they experiencing a certain problem that I have the solution for it? Do they have the right budget? Is the guy that I'm meeting with the specific decision maker that can get me a yes or a no? Right? If they check those boxes, then you're all good. Just like with cooking, when you eventually even cook the dish or the meal, you can even ask, are you allergic to hot spices? Maybe you're allergic to seafood. I'm allergic to seafood. I'm not a good fit if you were to cook seafood for me, right? It's the same thing for cold email. If they are not the right fit for you, don't send them. Don't reach out to them. They'll just tell you to F off, and block you eventually. So, cold email is like cooking. Think about cooking when you're building out your entire cold email outreach. Think of how you're going to be building out the infrastructure, building out the leads list, how you're going to be writing the copy. The ingredients that mixed up, that makes an entire dish, is what will make it successful. Okay? And if you want more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. It's not a cooking show. It's not a cooking show. This is a cold email related channel. I'm going to be talking about business, maybe life in general, and how life is just related to cold email. We're just doing outreach. If you want to learn more about the type of services we offer B2B leads. Go to excelmarketing.com, book call with me, watch our videos there, and thanks for watching. Peace.